All right, hello to everybody watching. This is a recording of a closet review on Poshmark. These are available for purchase in my website, and the link is down below if you're interested in getting your own eBay store review or a Poshmark closet review. And this is kind of the process that we go through. We try to be personalized. We send you a review questionnaire that you fill out to give us a little bit of info, some of your concerns, and then go from there. So if you're interested in that, link is down below in the description. Today I'm reviewing Aunt B's closet on Poshmark. She gave us permission to post this on YouTube, so thank you so much, and I hope that it's helpful to everybody watching to be able to look at some of these tasks and items in your store and see if you can implement it into your own closet. So we're going to start with the overall appearance. I would first of all say that I really like your banner, very clean, very bright and happy. And I also like your profile pic. I think having an actual profile pic of you just helps buyers feel more personal with you and give you a little bit of confidence that they're shopping with an actual person versus a store or versus just somebody without a profile pic. So I do like that you have a little bit of art put up. I also like seeing your bundle discount, 50% off of 3 items or more. That's really good. You're also a Posh ambassador. That is not necessary. I get asked that a lot, but it is, I guess, buyer confidence in the eyes of a buyer. So it's nice to see all of those things in your closet. I did want to tell you that if you take a look at my closet here, there is a spot on your profile. If you click your edit profile, you can actually, I think it's called profile details or my info or something like that. And if you type something into there, it will show up on your closet. I use this as a way to just have an additional buyer confidence statement. You could say things like fast shipping, I ship same or next day. For me, I just put happy to answer any questions that you have, but I do think it's a missed opportunity if you're not using that. So if you do get a chance, go back, edit your profile, and put something into my info so that can pop up on your closet and just give you another opportunity to promote buyer confidence. So back to your closet, I sorted by just in. We want to see your most recent listings. If you're new to Poshmark, the default sort is by just shared. So it'll sort by just shared automatically. When we do reviews both on eBay and Poshmark, we want to look at the newly listed, so we sort by just in. So looking at your closet just at first glance, it's very clean and presentable. I can tell that you're trying to use a white background, and I can also tell that you're using a bit of lighting. So really good white backgrounds on every platform help to promote you in Google search. And overall, yeah, I think very clean and presentable. You're showing the items very well. As we dig into your photos and get a little bit more nitpicky, I can tell that you're taking a lot of details. You're taking some different angles, front and back. You're including the brand label, the size, and you're also including the material, which is really good. So a lot more details than a lot of people do. We always say that you have so many photos, you might as well use them up because it doesn't cost you anything additional. So if you can, add as many details as possible, and it looks like you're doing that. One thing I did notice on your photos is in some places you're struggling to use a square photo. So I saw that a lot on your jeans. So here's a pair of jeans. It looks like a square photo here, but then as we dive in, you can see a lot of rectangle photos and then cut off sides. I don't know if that's because you're screenshotting from another platform or if this is in fact your actual photo, but if you didn't already know, in order to optimize your photos on any platform, you'll want to switch to a square mode. So you can do that by going into your camera app, and as you're getting ready to take a photo, you can change the size setting to a 1:1 ratio, which is a square setting. And if you do that, it's going to just fill up the page more and just bring your item forward and not have these bars on the side. And again, it's just to optimize your photos. So if you can, switch to a 1:1 square photo ratio. And I know you mentioned you list on multiple different platforms. That'll help you on all the platforms. It'll just be more optimized that way. That way it never gets cropped, and it just brings your photos to life a little bit more. Other than that, the only thing I had to say about your photos, and that's getting just kind of nitpicky, is they're not all consistent. Sometimes we have a white background remover, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we have the hanger of the pants down here and it looks like you're doing a flat lay. Sometimes we have a regular flat lay without a hanger. If I were to get real nitpicky, I would say if you really want to amp up those photos, to use a consistent hanger all the time and let your photos hang the same way and have the same setup basically every time. And that just gives you a little bit of an extra edge over other sellers. But all in all, pretty decent photos, and I would keep that up. Looking at your titles, I can tell that your titles are too short. Poshmark allows 80 characters. They recently expanded into 80 characters. They used to have a lot less, but they currently have 80 characters, and that's 80 opportunities for you to put in keywords to bring buyers to your items. So for instance, you've got a Banana Republic men's polo. You're going to only get people that search these words. If you add in short sleeve or collar or logo or button, you're going to bring all those buyers that use those other keywords that I just mentioned by adding those into your listings. So in my opinion, I know there's a lot of controversy about Poshmark right now and how their search algorithms change and whether or not you should have short titles, long titles, which is better for search. I can tell you that we haven't done anything different, and we use up as many characters as we can, and our sales have remained steady. So all I can give you is my experience, but it would make sense to me that having more keywords would bring more buyers to your store. So if I were you, I would go back and I would try to add in more titles. We like to structure ours, the brand, the gender, what the item is, the size, and then any additional keywords. You do see the size right here, and then they'll also see the category, but I think it just gives a double confirmation that someone is looking at the right item when it says it again additionally into the title. So I would go back and expand on all your titles and use up as many of those characters that it allows you to. Diving deep into the listing itself and looking at your descriptions, I can see you added a few more keywords in here, which is good. You're adding the size, you added to button and the condition. Again here, same thing. I think you're doing pretty good. This is a really good one. I can tell you added a little bit more details and effort into this one. And you also said see pics and measurement for condition. I think that the description is another place where you can say something like see pics for measurement, or happy to answer your questions, or fast shipping. So I would just go back in, expand on your titles, and put some more keywords into here and just bring that buyer confidence into your description. Now, I have noticed on a couple of your listings, you've got your inventory SKU at the bottom here. At least that's what I assume this is. I'm not sure if that is on every listing, if that's something you're currently doing, or if this is just old cross-posted from another platform. But there is a spot for a custom SKU during your listing. If you click additional details, you'll see a spot for a custom SKU, and you can put this there where the buyer won't see it. So if you'd like to clean up your listing up a little bit, you could start putting that in the custom SKU versus in the description box. Overall, you got a really good start on your descriptions. I think you just need to add a few more details there, and definitely expand on your titles. Close out of these. Looking at the quality of your item, the types of items you have in your store, automatically I'm seeing Banana Republic, Old Navy, Liz Claiborne, Express, Levi's, J. Crew, a lot of mall brands, which isn't a bad thing, but those typically do not have a high sell-through rate. It really depends on the factors involved, but typically, if we're just talking about brands, are not very high sell-through rate brands. With that in mind, I know you were concerned about the amount of items that you were selling and how quickly they were selling in your Poshmark closet. That would be a major contributor to slow sales, is you're picking up stuff and listing stuff that has a low sell-through rate. So if stuff has a low sell-through rate, it's probably going to take longer than average to sell. When we look up a 100% sell-through rate, that is within 90 days. So if you're not finding 100% sell-through rate, it's probably going to take longer than 90 days. I would recommend, if you don't already, to check comps on eBay versus checking them on Poshmark and look at that sell-through rate and only pick up items with 100% sell-through rate or higher. That might not be viable depending on the area you're in. And if you can't, that's totally fine too. There are a ton of people that have really successful businesses with low sell-through rate items. But typically, in order to be successful listing low sell-through rate items, you have to list a lot of them, and you have to play the quantity game over the quality game. And consistency also plays a big factor when you are listing lower sell-through rate items, keeping constant activity in your store. So just looking at the quality of the brands, the types of items in your closet, I'm not seeing a whole lot of high sell-through rate items, but not necessarily bad items. I did take a look at your pricing. I know you were concerned that maybe you were priced too high based on the amount that was selling, and that you recently dropped your prices. You were wondering if maybe you should bring them back. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking you have very reasonable prices, and especially because on Poshmark you have to accept offers. Anybody can send you an offer. I'm assuming you're factoring that into the price. I think you're priced very fairly and very reasonably. I mean, I think people are probably getting a good deal with you. The thing I would worry about, just because you mentioned dropping prices, is while you can price too high and that hinders your store, you can also price too low or drop prices too low, and buyers might see that as a reason not to buy the item. I think it works both ways. So somebody might see a very low price on an item and just automatically assume that there's something wrong with the item or that it's undesirable. So I would keep that in mind. I'm not telling you to raise your prices, but I am saying to keep that in mind. Don't drop too often, because if you drop too low, it can also have the same effect. So I don't think pricing is the reason that stuff is not selling very quickly. Again, I think it's just items that have a low sell-through rate. Moving on to listing consistency, you told me a little bit in your questionnaire that your goal was to list 10 a day, 70 a week, but that you were struggling to be consistent. I cannot tell exactly when you listed these items. I think because you've dropped prices like these, I know were listed a few days ago, but if I click into it, it says it was updated an hour ago. I don't know if that's because you're dropping prices or what's causing it to do that, but I can't tell exactly when you listed these items like I can on some other listings. But I can tell you that I've been on your closet for several days and I haven't seen any new items listed. So I can tell that you're not listing every day, which you did talk about in your questionnaire. When it comes to listing consistency, you're setting what seems to me too high of a goal for yourself. If your goal is 10 a day, 70 a week, but you're not consistent, I think that goal's too high. So my question to you would be, what is reasonable to you that you would be able to be consistent? Is it 5 a day? Is it 2 a day? What can you do that you can do absolutely 100% every single day so that you can start get a consistent snowball going and start to see your sales pick up? This is just my recommendation to you, but I would look at how much time you have, how much time during the week and what days, and figure out chunks of time and how much you can get done listing undistracted. Let's say you only have 2 hours every week to sit down and actually list. Can you get 20 listings done in 2 hours? And then instead of listing all 20 of those that day, can you spread them throughout the week? Can you hold them in your drafts and set them active every day? Or can you use the drops feature and schedule them ahead of time so that you're constantly having something listing every single day versus listing 20 at once? I did take a look at your actual sell-through rate, which is a little hard to do because Poshmark is not necessarily easy in that aspect. But here it says you have 491 listings. A lot of people don't know that whatever this number is actually includes your sold listings as well. So this is not your available listings. So I took your 491 total and then I went to your solds and I calculated your solds. At the time that I calculated it, you had 202 sold lifetime on Poshmark, which brings you to 289 actual available listings. So you have 289 available listings in your closet. I went back to your solds and I calculated how many you had sold in the last month. You'd sold 26 items within the last month at the time of me counting that. So 26 divided by your 289 listings would give us about a 9% sell-through rate, which is actually pretty good for a clothing reseller given that you're on other platforms. Most clothing resellers have about a 10% sell-through rate, and if you're more than that, then you're doing really good. If you're lower than that, you probably have some things to work on. So I think just being a newer reseller and the types of items you're listing, your sell-through rate is actually pretty decent. You don't have a ton of items in your closet relative, to some other people. So selling 26 out of 289 is actually a pretty decent sell-through rate, especially given the lower sell-through rate brands in your closet. You also have to keep in mind that since you're on other platforms, if you're selling items on other platforms, you want to roll that into your sell-through rate, which would increase your sell-through rate if you're also selling items on other platforms. So I think sell-through rate wise, you're actually doing pretty good and you're about right on par with most clothing resellers. Looking just, overall at your closet, some of the things that we looked at, I would say your biggest concern should be picking up higher sell-through rate items if you can in your area, and then also working on a consistent listing habit, something you can do every single day, expanding on your titles and adding more keywords. I think all of those things are really going to make the biggest difference in your closet. And then lastly, I did take a look at your feedback. And you had a really good feedback in your love notes. The biggest thing that I took away from your love notes was that you were a fast shipper. So I would just continue to lean into that. Buyers love fast shipping, and I don't think you're having an issue getting feedback because of that. I think it actually says, you have an average ship time of 1 day, so that's really good. So keep it up. You're doing a great job with your feedback and getting those love notes from your buyers and just building buyer confidence. All in all, I think that you have a great start and a great foundation. I think you, again, just need to go back, expand on your titles, use up all 80 characters, go into your descriptions, add some more keywords, maybe say something like fast shipping, and then really work on what is reasonable to get done every single day for listings, because I think it'd be better for you to list a lower amount but every single day versus setting a bunch active at once, because that's going to help you in the Poshmark search algorithm, having consistent activity in your store. And lastly, while you're sourcing, if you're capable of it in your area, really focus on sell-through rate and don't pick up items with a low sell-through rate if you're expecting items to sell quickly. If you're not going to do that, or if it's not possible in your area and you want to continue picking up low sell-through rate items, just remember that you're going to have to list more in order to make up for the fact that they're not going to sell quickly, if that makes sense. So I hope that this closet review was helpful to the buyer of this review. I also hope that it was helpful to everybody watching. Again, if you guys would like your own personalized Poshmark closet review or eBay store review, the link will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye.